right, hello, welcome. This is chapter 1.4, where we are writing equations and inequalities. We are going beyond expressions now and talking about equations and inequalities. And just giving kind of like the first glimpse, because we're going to look at these a lot this year. You will, in this set of videos, you're going to learn to use equation and inequality symbols to translate a verbal or written phrase into an equation, very similar to what we did in 1.3. At the end, you'll also be able to check the solution to an equation. So if you have a solution, you'll know, is this solution correct? And what a solution is, actually. So a couple of quick vocabulary words that you need to know, and that would be an equation and an inequality. These are two words that you need to know the difference. So an equation is a mathematical sentence formed by placing the equal sign between two expressions. So like 3x plus 4 equals 5. That's an equation. Expression. We are setting them equal to each other, saying that 3x plus 4 and 5 are the same thing. So that's an equation. An inequality is a mathematical sentence formed by placing the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to symbols between the two expressions. Again, these symbols mean that they are not the same, they are not equal to each other, but that same thing that we have above, if I just switch the symbol, it becomes an inequality. 3x plus 4 is less than 5. So, like what values for x make this a true statement, okay? So equations have equal signs, inequalities have one of these symbols. So let's just really quickly make sure we know what those symbols mean, okay? This is a less than symbol. And we read it left to right. Like I know, when you're in elementary school, you learn that the alligator eats the bigger one, right? So you make like an alligator. Oops, make my alligator here. Ooh, alligator. There's his legs, right? You like my alligator legs, and we'll give that alligator some teeth. Rawr, and an eyeball. Gators need eyeballs. You see? Look, gator. And the gator eats the bigger number because, like, 3 is greater than 5. Or if we were to say, I did that wrong, but 3 is less than 5, the gator's eating the 5. We can also say x is less than 5, which means that the x value is a smaller number than 5. So it could be 4, it could be 3, it could be 2, 1, 0. This is a greater than symbol. Again, reading it left to right, the greater than is on the left-hand side, so that's why it's the greater than. This one is less than or equal to, and the only difference here is that if I were to write 5 is less than or equal to 5, that's a true statement, whereas up here, 5 is less than 5 is not a true statement, because 5 isn't less than 5. It's the same. It's equal to. In the same respect, we have greater than or equal to. And again, it's the same thing. It could be a number bigger or the same. So 5 is greater than or equal to 5 is also a true statement because 5 is equal to 5. Finally, the last thing we need to talk about before we look at some examples is this thing called a compound inequality. And sometimes two inequalities can be combined to form a compound inequality. Just like you can have compound words, right? You can have compound words like do not becomes don't, right? You can have compound inequalities. So if we have an inequality that says x is greater than 4, and x is less than 9, we can combine those to be 4 is less than x is less than 9, which we read as 4 is less than x and x is less than 9. So that is a compound inequality. It is two inequalities that we've put together. You've got the one inequality there and the other inequality here. So let's take that knowledge and the knowledge that we learned in 1.3 about finding writing expressions and make equations here. So this says the difference of twice a number k and 8 is 12. So first of all, difference means subtraction. Twice a number, right? This means multiply, because we're going 2 times k, so that's 2k. The difference of this and 8 means minus 8. Is, that's a key word right there. That means equals. It means they're the same. So that means that 2k minus 8 equals 12. The product of 6 and a number n, right? Product means multiply, is at least 24. So the product of 6 and a number n, that's 6n, 6 times n. But then it says it's at least 24. So we have to think, what does at least mean? At least means that the smallest it can be is 24. So it has to be bigger than 24. Therefore, the symbol we're using is a greater than symbol, because it's at least 24. The smallest it can be is 24. 6n has to be bigger than that. Finally, a number y is no less than 5 and no more than 13. We got a couple things there, right? It's no less than 5, meaning it has to be bigger than 5, but it's no more than 13. So y is greater than 5, but it's no more than 13, which means y is less than 13. This looks like a compound inequality. 5 is less than, y is less than 13. Notice that there were given two symbols here. We have a less than symbol, or depending on where you put the y, a greater than symbol, right? And then we have the opposite of it there for the 13. It's a compound inequality. All right, there are a couple of problems to have you guys do in your notes, so go ahead and do those, and then we'll see you in the second video.